while everybody's loading the lines. Move this down. We're streaming live. Are we streaming live over on LinkedIn? Is that what's going on? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's rock and roll. All right. Welcome to day 4. Can you believe it? Oh my gosh. Oh, Heidi, I'm so glad you're here. You're going to be one of my examples. So we're so glad you guys are here. This is where the rubber meets the road, right? All week, you've been building the traffic. We've been focusing on the traffic, right? All week, you've been building at the top that premium message, the premium platform, the threading of content. And yesterday, I left you with one question that a lot of you couldn't answer. Do you remember what the question was? Where, when someone stops scrolling and you catch their attention, where are you taking them? Remember that question? Some of you guys looked at me like a deer in a headlight, right? I don't know. I was just glad that I got their attention, right? Okay, so today is the answer, right? Today, and it's the piece that turns everything you've built actually into daily sales, whether you're on your laptop or not, whether it's a weekend or it's a weekday, right? Whether they're purchasing from a different time zone when you're sleeping or not, right? This is the day it all connects. And it's also the last day that the doors are open to our masterclass offering a masterclass pricing and all of our incredible bonuses and the replay. So all of it, right? All of it goes away tonight. So you'll have time to binge this afternoon. So general housekeeping, really quick, for those of you who've already cannonballed in, welcome. One thing I want to guide every single one of you on is that even if you invested in the AI marketing team, which is incredible, you'll notice we don't sell it by itself. You actually invest in that marketing team and you have the magnetic demand method and the Hive community to support you. You cannot start and build your skill with the marketing department before you go through the first phase of the magnetic demand and do your brand voice interview. So I already saw a couple of you asking, how do I get started with my signal? Because that's like the first thing, right? The signal skill is all about what you put into it. And the signal skill can be applied once you've gone through phase 1 of the magnetic demand. So you're still going to go into the Hive. You're still going to go into the first phase of the modules, and you're going to go through and do the brand voice exercise. And that is the input you give the signal when you build your signal. Does this make sense? So we have to make sure that the skills know what to pull from, right? Yes, the modules are available immediately, Glenda. And every single one of you, whether you cannonball into the Hive, you cannonball into Queen's Chamber, or you cannonball into the inner circle, where am I going to tell you to start, no matter what? Phase 1 of the magnetic demand method, building out your brand voice so that the next thing you can do is publish your signal. Okay. So phase 1 and the principles behind it, no matter if you cannonball into inner circle and you're in day 1 in my world, I'm going to say, awesome. Go to phase 1 in the magnetic demand method and start on your brand voice, because the brand voice is going to inform everything we do downstream. Okay. I also talked to Mary Bell, our programs manager, but also our AI architect within the community. And she's going to do some AI office hours with you guys over the next 2 weeks. So keep your eyes out for that, for those of you that are joining. So as we push out this incredible resource, you have someone that can help you in kind of a mastermind, like lab kind of energy over the next 2 weeks. Okay. All right. Now, is the signal the intake workbook? Yeah, the brand voice is an interview that you're going to do in the first phase. And that is going to be what you feed the signal. What I want you guys to envision with the signal is it's going to be your brand voice and everything you've collected up until now about your dreamy client. Whether it's your offers, whether it's client testimonials, whether you have a web page or not. You may not have any of that together, but you'll be prompted to pull as much of it as you can into feeding the skill if you buy the AI package, or feeding the GPT if you purchase the Hive and you go to the custom GPT. And you will input it, and then it will output the glorious signal for you. Okay. So there is an active part on your part to get started. Okay. And always, if you have any questions, just email us at teamburnout to all out. Okay. Okay. So that's the general housekeeping. So day one, platform and psychology. Day two, the source code, right? We talked about premium buyer psychology as it relates to mirror messaging. Day three, the content engine, the lead gen method. You guys got to witness production of content in real time while I was mentoring you, right? Today, we're going to do, who wants another demo? Today, we're going to do another demo, but it's going to be the full engine. Today is the full offer flow. Okay. We're going to show front to back today, the engine that turns into the silent daily sales. Okay. So, reality check yesterday. This word was new to some of you, the word thread. Do you remember me saying, does your content thread or does it scatter? Yesterday's homework was to audit your last 5 posts. And do they point to one offer or do they point in 5 different directions? Yesterday, I underscored to you how I could focus on one thing for an entire 3 weeks and take it from a many different angles with my handy dandy AI skills and or prompts that you get in the Hive, right? That is the magnetic demand at work, applying mirror messaging, premium buyer psychology, your source code to the lead gen method formula of the 4 areas that premium buyers are looking that you can bring attention to that create conversion content. Does that ring a bell? Yes, this is what we did. So, did your content thread? You were supposed to audit your last 5 posts. Who audited their last 5 posts yesterday? Who went and took a look and asked themselves, am I just posting to post? Do I just have content pillars? Or was there intentionality? Was there direction? Am I taking people somewhere? Let me know in the chat who audited their work. Did anybody audit their work? Let me see. Okay. All right. Angela says, I had a thread. Susan audited her last 11 newsletters, lots of gaps. Awesome. You guys witnessed me use the newsletter skill yesterday. I used it yesterday afternoon when I wrote the newsletter. Anybody read my newsletter this morning that went out? It was a story about this class over the last couple of days, right? Okay, Jeffrey had empty posting, hair to post. I'm not sure the hair to post, empty posting. Taking people to a workshop coming up. Okay, awesome. Okay, just empty. Okay. All right. So you guys are seeing where we've been so far this week. Okay. Most people discover that they're kind of scattered, and this isn't failure. It's the next exact gap that we close today, because threading content is only half of it. The content threads them towards something. It's actually easier to thread when we know the intentionality in our offer flow architecture, where we're taking them. And that's what today is all about, right? That's where today lives. Yesterday, you built the engine that makes the content. Today, we build the engine that catches people that it attracts and takes them somewhere with intention. Okay? Okay. So, this is what I want to underscore, okay? This is a reframe that really sets the day, okay? Most people think if a post didn't convert, it didn't work. Does anybody else tell themselves that? Oh, I made a post today, it didn't work. Nobody came in. I didn't get any leads. This is not true, okay? Some people engage, some people like, some of your best buyers often do neither. Remember me saying this on Monday or Tuesday and Wednesday? They watch silently for weeks. Some of them watch silently for 630 days. Okay. Not all of them do, right? But LinkedIn is just the floor. The content gets their attention. I want you to remember what I said on Tuesday. Your most premium clients are too busy to hit like and engage in the things that are compelling to them, but it doesn't mean they're not seeing you. Okay? It doesn't mean they're not seeing you, right? The decision, so the content gets their attention, but I want, humor me this. This is my reframe today. LinkedIn is just the door. It's actually just the door. Okay. Your door and your content gets their attention. All right. Then your profile pulls them in, right? It's your first high converting landing page if it's positioned properly. Okay. But the decision that usually doesn't happen in the moment, it happens later. It's in the DMs, it's in an email nurture, right? It's on their terms when they're ready, not just when they saw your content in the feed. Okay. And if everybody can mute themselves, and I don't know if the team can try to figure out whose background noise is coming through. Um, I always say it's not my business when you buy, right? It's not my business when you buy. I just need to make the path to purchase and consume frictionless. So I want you to write that down. We want to make the path to consume and purchase frictionless. Many of you from the very beginning, when I look at your profiles, there's no powerful CTA even in the profile. If you get them all the way to your profile, they still don't know where to go, right? They still don't know where to go. I was auditing one of our inner circle clients' web pages the other day, and her lead magnet's not on there. I'm like, what are you doing with all the traffic that shows up at your website and they're not ready to purchase yet? You've lost the opportunity to grab their email by creating something of high value on your web page so that you can grab their attention and nurture them later. So the real question becomes, how fast can you move people off the feed and into something that you own? We don't own LinkedIn, and we're going to see today that LinkedIn is the magical vehicle to bring leads in, but visibility is still not exponential to what we get with our email list. Write this down. Your email list is your social 401k. It is your social 401k. It appreciates over time, and most people don't focus on it like they should. Okay? So it grows and it appreciates and it comes from that top of funnel effort. Here's the thing I want to underscore. Your email list doesn't just magically appear. This is why you are here. This is why you are learning messaging. This is why you're learning about a premium platform, because we can't grow a list without pulling them in from somewhere, right? My chosen place is LinkedIn. It's premium. There's decision makers. They're higher investors, right? We use a platform for intentionality to drive the traffic from the platform because we build a category of one brand. We have a case that we stand behind, positioning that we stand behind with authority, and with intention of our content, we drive traffic somewhere else, specifically the email list. Okay? Day over week over week. Just like we very boringly contribute to our 401k week over week, and we don't see it appreciate till we look back at it later, right? So I try to actually grow my list by a couple of hundred every single week. I like to add a couple hundred new people to my list every single week. That's my true pipeline, not my social following. Who remembers what percent of Burnout to All Out, what percent of our revenue comes from our email list? What percent of sales come from a click in an email versus a sale in a DM, website, or a post on social media? Guess. What do you think it is? What percent of my sales come from email marketing? Heidi just about nailed it. It's 90%. 90%. Now, the key is that list came from the feed. And that's what I want you to understand. The list came from the feed. Okay. So that's the engine. What I'm going to introduce to you today is what I lovingly call the dual traffic demand engine. If you join us in the Hive, You are going to learn it as the third phase of the magnetic demand method. Phase one is building that signal, that premium client document that hones them in. Phase two is understanding the content behind it that converts. And phase three is the magnetic demand. It is how the dual traffic demand engine. It's how do I grab the attention that I'm getting and how do I convert it to the underground silent sales system? Okay. So I'm going to live on this picture for just a minute. Okay. So this top track that you see up top, this is LinkedIn. This is Instagram, Facebook, podcast, Substack. It is top of funnel. This is visible traffic. This is the open market, right? This is the top track. Okay. Now the bottom track is what I call the silent sales system. This is what I call the underground. This is where in the feed, see up in the top, in the feed, I activate them with magnetic demand or a lead magnet, no pun intended, with a little magnet there, right? We activate in the feed, they click because we give them something of high value in exchange for their email, the lead magnet, and it pulls them down into the underground silent sales system. This is where the full loop starts to begin. You build a list and you have a nurture strategy that you are nurturing and you present the offer, you create the sale, and you can also ascend silently behind closed doors with email marketing, believe it or not. Okay. So this dual traffic demand engine, the final phase of the magnetic demand method, this is my signature IP. This is the silent revenue my company makes every single day. Okay. Amy Porterfield, I'm in her high level mastermind. She had me present this concept to the whole group earlier this year, right? Because we are breaking records with how we're generating revenue. Okay. So it's not from an ad. It's not from the feed. It's not from my webpage. It's from my email because I'm intentionally pulling people. You're going to hear me say the word scrape. I'm scraping my feed every week with high value content that has a powerful CTA, inviting people to opt into something that turns into being on my list, whether it's a lead magnet, joining my newsletter, or many of you are on my email list now because you registered for this masterclass. How many of you registered for this masterclass because of something free in the feed? And then you got my nurture today, you got my newsletter today, right? This is a natural process, okay? In the underground silent sales system, 100% of our $15,000 offer, 100% of my inner circle clients have purchased from what? An email. An email. Jackie and I actually did some research earlier on, we're trying to optimize our website, and we went and did some research on the Inner Circle website. And Claude was like, "You've had no sales ever from the website." Yes, Heidi, right? I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me. No one has ever gone to the website to purchase this $15,000 offer. They've purchased from a little checkout cart with tiny amounts of copy from in an email." Why does that happen? 50 human beings, 49 to be exact. Why does that happen? Because we've closed the gap on trust and authority through strategic nurture in the underground that only that human sees, specific to them. Okay. All right. This is where attention gets created with premium messaging that you learned this week. What percent of your content do you think is seen when you post in the feed? Let me know in the chat. What percent of content gets seen? When you post in the feed on any given day, what percent of humans actually see it out of your following? Yep, you guys are good students, 2 to 3% on a good day. And listen, today is not about like deflating you about LinkedIn. I generate my traffic from the top of the feed there. It builds my email list. But how I'm making millions is not by selling in the feed. And this is what we're going to talk about today. It's how I'm leveraging what I'm doing in the feed. I'm playing the game of chess. I'm taking multiple steps forward. Okay. What percent, tell me, what is a healthy open rate for an email? What is a healthy open rate for an email? 10, 30, 10, 30. Okay, awesome. 30%. Yeah, 30%. So I attract smart humans. Okay, let's do the math together. 3% visibility in the feed, 30% visibility in the underground email. What X increased visibility is it to get people out of the feed and actually talk to them in their inbox? 3 to 30 is 10X. 10X. So every time I send an email, the ROI on that is 10 times anything I put in the feed. Now, the content in the feed is a necessary evil to grow the email list, and a lot of people don't want to have to do that. But once you build it, it is recession proof. I can guarantee you that we're living it. Okay. The people move from the top track to the bottom track and go from 3 to 30% visibility. This is the part you own and control. You can't control the algorithm. You can't control LinkedIn, any social platform. You can't control timing of when people go onto social media. But most premium human beings have an email account that they're in on a daily basis, even if they decide to go on a social media sabbatical. Right? If you're like me, I've got kids. I've got oh my God, I've got more than three different teachers. I've got kids in different grades with 5 teachers each. And the amount of emails I get during the school year is insane. I can't ignore my inbox. So know that when someone gives you their email, it's very intimate. We go from a warm-ish follower on LinkedIn to someone who's warmer, I would say hot, in the inbox because they've been willing to give you their email and it's been specific to your subject matter expertise, right? Okay. So to me, email is my warmest audience. They've selectively opted into my content as a subject matter and they've said, I trust you enough to give you access to my inbox, right? They're already primed. They're already interested. This is where we make millions, right? But remember, this isn't to disregard the feed, right? The feed feeds the bottom track. So are you guys understanding my picture here before I move on? The reason it's called the dual traffic demand engine is there's 2 tracks. There's the top track, the visible track that everybody sees that gets you 3% visibility. And then the 10X that no one is spending time on and where we are winning is the silent bottom track, the unseen sales engine. Okay. Now, the top track attracts, you can write this down, the bottom track converts. The top track attracts, the bottom track converts. And together they compound every single day, whether I show up or not. Now, there's a reason I'm holding champagne. So just follow me on this story for a second in this slide. Okay. Here's the catch. A silent compounding sales engine only works when what you feed into it is built to convert, right? So a lot of you are building visibility, you're posting, you're even generating leads, but nothing moves and you assume it's a traffic problem. And so you get louder, right? It's not a traffic problem. It's not an offer flow problem. Maybe partially, we'll talk about that, right? It's what is it, right? It's the challenge is that you're pouring expensive champagne into a strainer, right? You're pouring it into a strainer. So it's not a traffic problem. It is actually an offer flow problem. It is where you are or aren't driving people once you capture their attention. It's an architecture problem, right? So once they see you, where are you taking them with intentionality? The traffic is fine. The container is leaking, right? It's leaking because either the lead magnet is non-existent or it's not positioned properly, right? The low ticket, the mid ticket, the high ticket, are they speaking to different people with no directionality, right? Is there no connection? And we're going to talk about this. Okay. Now, some of you don't even have an offer flow set up, right? Many of you absolutely have no direction to where you're taking people from the feed. You were vulnerable and honest, and you were willing to share that earlier, right? Others of you, I want to talk about this. You're selling low level messaging with low level offers, and then mid level messaging with your mid level offers, and then you're shape shifting for your high level offers and your messaging to your high level offers. Can anybody be honest and say that that's where you are right now? Is anybody there? It's like, well, if I'm going to charge not a lot for this, then it's for my low level client. You be honest, okay? The reality is, positioning that way is killing your offer flow. Okay. It's actually creating a disconnect in the ascension. It's killing your offer flow. So when we create disconnected ascension, you're actually losing sales left and right. You're pouring fine champagne, all these beautiful premium leads through a funnel with holes everywhere because you're marketing to too many different types of people. And humor me this. If you market low level for low ticket, and you market high level for high ticket, are you just going to sit and wait that long for the people low ticket to evolve to become eligible for your mid and high ticket offers? Right? The way we collapse time, and you're going to see me talk about it today, is we fix the container before we pour the champagne in. Right? We want to keep every drop of that fine champagne, right? So, most people treat their low ticket and free stuff like a throwaway, like a cash grab. Well, you learned on day 2 that Darla came to a free masterclass, and in 3 months, she was in my $30,000 mastermind, right? We have people who came to this free masterclass and immediately invested in our $3,000 Queen's Chamber, right? I want you to think about this. Premium humans, right? In a premium ecosystem, premium humans still want a taste. Okay? You're telling yourself that your low level and low ticket have to be for a low level client. And I'm telling you, in a trust recession, I don't care how much money they have, they want to test you out before they're going to give you tens of thousands of dollars. And if your lead magnet or your low level offer is basic and doesn't solve a premium human's micro desire or micro need, right? You've lost them at the front door. Your messaging lost them at the front door. Some of you are bringing in some low ticket humans, low level offers, and your mid and high ticket aren't popping off. And you need to assess, what are you selling at the front door, right? What are you selling at the front door? So most people treat that low ticket, low level as a different human being. I treat my entire ecosystem for my dreamiest client. Everything I put out is designed to attract and move people all the way to the core of my inner circle so that day one, if they opt in, they could jump to my high level, right? Premium humans are discerning in this market. They want to taste before they buy. Do you think the guy that's buying the Maserati is going to go test drive it before he buys it? Yes. Do you think I walked that mountain property and checked the sunrise to sunset view before I invested $1 million on the land alone? Yes. Right? So if you think that by having something free or low ticket, it should be designed for a different client, you've already cut off your offer flow in the top of your feed. And this is what I want to challenge you to think about. Your premium client's desire that you've been learning about this week, that's what you need to be focused on. And I'm going to give you lots of examples, right? You should have something free and low ticket that is good, that is so good that when your premium client sits in it, they're like, if this is free, I cannot imagine what's behind the next door. How many of you guys have been sitting here this week and you've been like, I have gotten so much value, I kind of feel guilty that I haven't paid anything for it, right? So this is what I want you thinking about. And I am not concerned about you being satiated and not investing. That's from a scarcity mindset. I'm providing value, but I'm also establishing authority and trust, right? And you're probably pretty problem aware, right? At this point, right? 37.5. I think I said this the other day, right, Jackie? We found this out on Monday. Our CFO just shared it with us. 37.5% of my clients in the inner circle jump in the first 30 days that they're in the Queen's Chamber. 37%. So if my Queen's Chamber was designed for a lower level client, would we see that jump? No. If the magnetic demand method and the hive were not designed for a higher level client, do you think they'd ever move to Queen's Chamber? Maybe in a couple of years, right? If my free masterclass today was designed for a low level client, they would never jump in. I want you thinking about what you're putting out front that's free and low ticket and how it's actually feeding your higher level offers. Are you tracking with me, everybody? Are we on the same page? Yes. Okay. So like the Hive community, it's my core taste to trust offer with the magnetic demand method is exactly that. It is a trust builder, but it also over delivers because the taste in that community is overwhelmingly high in value, right? And it provides what our clients need to build for the next couple of levels. Now, having said that, this is what I mean by it being a premium experience, even though it's $500 right now, right? Even someone who comes into Inner Circle today, what would I say, Heidi? What would I say, Kimberly? These are some of my Inner Circle members. What would I say today if it was your very first day in the Inner Circle? Where would I tell you to start?
At the beginning.
Yes, at the magnetic demand method,
yes,
right?
But also begin with the end in mind.
That's right.
So
yes.
that the premium client point is the thing.
Exactly. And so that's my point. When you start thinking, and I know this is a messaging masterclass, but it really matters with where we're going in a second, because your messaging at the front really matters when you understand your offer ladder and who you're marketing to up front, because I'm going to entertain creating lead magnets. And I want your lead magnets and your low ticket and your free to be speaking to your dream client, not your low level client because it's free or low ticket. And this is what we're going to be putting in the feed to captivate and pull down into that system, right? Okay. Does this make sense? Yes. So I'm not selling something cheap at a low level at an entry door. At the door, what I give is absolute gold and necessary to impact everything downstream, right? And the reality is, for my offers, it's a matter of your choice of depth and proximity, right? It's not disconnected, and it's why we compound. And I'll show you a little bit of this in a bit. That's why aligned offers compound, right? Okay. So let's talk about what you may have traditionally been taught. For years, we were taught the funnel, right? Who gets hives when they hear that word funnel, right? The funnel, the ladder. We traditionally, everyone, so if you've heard of it or not heard of it, I'm going to give you a quick recap. One who speaks funnel speak would look at my offer ladder here. They'd call it a ladder and they'd see it as though someone has to enter at the top and climb in order, the funnel. They have to get the lead magnet, Melissa, and then they'll go and buy the low ticket thing. And then they'll slowly work their way to the next thing, the hive. And then they'll slowly work their way to the Queen's Chamber. And then this is the funnel. This is lockstep order, traditional ladder, funnel. From free to low to mid to high, neat, tidy, and completely wrong for how premium buyers act and how premium buyers buy. When premium buyers are activated, they buy what they want that is the fastest path to their desired results. Did we not just talk about this on day 2 of mirror messaging? One of the 4 categories is premium lens. This is why I have clients come through a free class and say, I want to be in this $30,000 program. I've had enough time with you. This is where I want to go. I'm not going to say, well, actually, Darla, you need to go back and go through this whole journey before you get to this final stage, right? But the only reason is because of the way my offer model, I call it an offer web, is designed, right? It's the reason, I mean, I'm living it. Three of you jumped into Queen's Chamber and we've been teaching something free. You bypassed, this is the offer web. You're going to see in a minute. It's not a funnel. You jumped from free and said, I want Queen's Chamber. And you did because that's what you want. And you want the proximity and you want the speed, right? So here's what's actually happening in a ladder where people have to go in sequence. People fall off the rungs because they're not all designed for the same buyer, right? And your most premium buyer often never discovers your high ticket, right? And I see this even with email nurture, and we're going to talk about this in a minute when I demo. But even when you opt into a lead magnet with me, I'm not going to wait till email number 12 to let you know about my higher proximity offers. Premium buyers are not going to make it to your 12th email. Literally in the first couple of emails, there's going to be a PS that says, by the way, if you want higher proximity with me and for me to be under the hood of your business every single week, along with my CIO, check out the inner circle, right? Premium buyers know what they want. They're going to click on it. I'm not offending anyone. If it's not your thing, you bypass it, right? Okay. So the ladder is linear. It's slow. It leaks. You are literally waiting for your clients to evolve before they get to your next offer, right? Premium buyers don't climb, right? They jump. Okay. So most people, again, they treat their offer, the low ticket, as a kind of a throwaway, right? I treat it like the taste of the higher level, right? The taste of the higher level. Now, did I just go backwards? I did. Here we go. This is what I want to show you. Instead of building the ladder, I build a web. Okay. So let me walk you through the web for a minute. Premium buyers don't move in a straight line. Okay. Most people picture a funnel as this neat linear path, step 1, step 2, step 3, right? That's not how premium buyers move. They jump. So let me give you some examples. Okay. I'm going to give you some examples. Let me move this over here just a little bit. Here we go. Example number 1. Okay. So we'll go with Elise and Dennis because you guys are real time. You jumped into the messaging masterclass and jumped right into Queen's Chamber, right? Many of you came into the messaging masterclass and you jumped right into the hive, right? But there's actually some low ticket offers in between here and there, right? But you jumped. You went from here to here, from here to here. That's one example, right? Let's go to Darla. Let's go to Shelly. Jackie, do you remember Shelly in our Elevate 360? The great example. She was just on my email list. Where's email list? I don't see where the email list. We'll just pretend this is email list. She was on my email list for 6 months, never liked, never commented, never engaged in anything of mine. And when we opened the doors to our highest level mastermind, Elevate 360, for $30,000, she purchased. And we were like, who is this? I don't even know who this is. She literally went from email list to our core offer that opens annually, right? 6 months of watching silently. She didn't go through a funnel, right? Heidi is another really fun example. Heidi was silently watching everything. I don't know the Heidi that you ever commented on anything of mine. And we ran our analytics, nothing, right? And and she downloaded everything that was free though. She has every lead magnet that we ever put out. And it took her 630 days, right? She went from the 630-day journey that she ultimately jumped into the hive, then she moved into Queen's Chamber, and then she jumped into Inner Circle, right? And so this is my thing is it is not my business when you move, but I better make the path really easy for you to decide when you're ready. Is this landing for you all? You let your client self-select, but make the path clear, right? But they only jump and make quantum leaps or take their time if the messaging brought in the right humans from the front end. The web or the funnel doesn't work if the messaging at the front end in this perimeter of my web, no matter what lead magnet it is, no matter what free masterclass it is, if I'm talking low level out here, there's no quantum leap to the core. Does this make sense? Yes? Okay. Now, I've had people go every iteration of this web, every iteration. So when your messaging is right, time collapses, and that's when your business starts to feel effortless, right? Now, hold that vision of the web, okay? Hold this vision of the web. Now, humor me this because some of you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now. How many of you are like, well, good for her. She has this beautiful web and all these offers and all these lead magnets, okay? Offer webs don't start as a web. And my Queen's Chamber members know this very well. We build architecture and we start with one string. How does a web start? It starts with your first thing. My very first thing was that lead gen checklist that you can't see right now. There it is. Every time I come up here, you can't see it. The lead gen checklist, see it down there at the bottom left? That was my first string. I had a lead gen checklist, right? And then you add your low ticket offer. We've got the authority loop that then takes a trip to the Queen's Chamber or to the Hive. I think my original one was the Lead Gen Academy. It doesn't exist anymore, but that's a moot point. You can just follow my hands. I started with the lead gen checklist, into the Lead Gen Academy, into Build, Grow, Scale, and into Elevate 360. It was one linear line. That was the first web that I ever built in my company, ever. One. Okay. So what I need you to envision is that my business didn't start as a web and yours isn't either. It started as one string that led from the perimeter to the core, but the core always stayed the same. The core doesn't change. The perimeter gets added to, right? I'm always speaking to my premium, dreamy, drooly clients in the middle, right? So this is offer flow architecture. This is what slowly builds a web. It slowly goes from a foundation of a string and laying one string at a time that creates multiple paths that all begin to go to that core offer. And this is what collapses time and it creates compound revenue. So would you like to see one single string? Let me show you one single string and how this plays out as a full LinkedIn funnel, if I say the word, right? And it's a real client, okay? Her name is Kayla, okay? And she came in. Do you see? I want you to vision. This is one string from the web. Do you see this? I'm going to walk you through this. This is one string that I built one time. And it's paid me tenfold. It keeps running. It keeps running. I'm going to walk you through it. Now, everybody that hits up here follows that journey, follows that journey, follows that journey. Build it once, repeat, right? So one strand of the web, right? That's a single buyer's journey, okay? Kayla happens to be an expert consultant in mergers and acquisitions. She exited corporate, launched her own business, and saw, guess what? Some content in the feed by Melissa Henault caught her attention and she started consuming me. She started reading my content. I don't know how long, right? But one day on a Friday, right? She went to my profile. This was a Friday when I was headed to the mountains with my family to go mountain biking. I was doing downhill mountain biking for the first time and it was terrifying, but it was fun. Okay. I had the whole ammo, like what armor on, right? Friday afternoon, she lands on my profile. What do I have? You guys, your LinkedIn account is your number one landing page. Dare I say the word funnel? I'd rather call it a web funnel, right? To bring people in that are activated. But if you're not positioned properly, you'll never bring them in, right? So she landed on my profile and she read through a high converting profile written to convert with a powerful CTA that brought her to the featured section of my profile. And what was there, my friends? A lead magnet that was high desire. And what did she do on a Friday afternoon while I was at the mountains? She opted into the lead magnet. What happened on the back side of that lead magnet? Guess what was there? A tripwire. I'm probably saying it wrong, Jackie. Is it a cart bump? I don't know. I always get it wrong. But whatever it is on the thank you page, I said, you downloaded this. When people download it is the highest intent moment to have a consumer invest a micro amount for a very small dollar amount to convert them to buyers so that they can consume you. Okay? What are you doing? Okay, Wesley, I have a 13-year-old just walking in silently trying to take my phone from underneath me while I'm trying to stream live to a whole masterclass. Wesley, can I please have my phone back? This is my life as a mom over the summer. She did it so quietly. Okay, so where was I? So or you could be streaming live a masterclass while someone lands on your landing page and gets to your lead magnet. I was up in the mountains, okay? She downloaded the lead magnet. The thank you page offered for her to purchase what you're watching right now for $17. This is the highest intent moment when someone opts into your lead magnet to offer them something super low friction that's easy to throw in the cart like a Snickers bar. She bought it, but there was skin in the game. It wasn't free at that point. She paid $17. What did she do that weekend while I was mountain biking? She consumed all 4 videos. She watched a version of what you're watching right now. That was all she needed. On Monday, Jackie and I boot up our computers to start our day, and she purchases and pays in full to the inner circle. No sales call. This is what I want for you. Did it happen overnight? Was it a get-rich-quick scheme? No. Did I have to think methodically about a high-converting lead magnet and strategically place it under my profile? Yes. Did I have to think strategically about where I was taking them and the value that they would need and how I could trust stack while I'm not there? Yes. That's thinking 3 steps ahead, right? This is how we compound our revenue. And I built that once. Do you know how many people have downloaded that lead magnet, bought this on demand, and started working through my offer ladder because of this? Okay, hear me say this loud and clear. This is how we compound our revenue. This is how we compound our revenue. This is the underground silent sales system. You may not build it today. You may not build it tomorrow. You may not build it indefinitely. But if you join us by midnight tonight, we're going to build your first one with the authority loop. So there's that, right? So right now it's a straight line at the beginning to the end, right? It's a straight line. Hold that thought, because where we're going to go next, I'm going to lose some of you here, but for those of you who are like really deep thinkers, I'm going to blow your mind. Okay. Not only is this a string, okay, just humor me and we're going to do a demo on this. Okay. So take a sip of coffee. If you're already like, I don't know if my brain can handle this, it actually turns into a loop. So just follow me on this string for just a second. All right. She was on my profile, downloaded the lead magnet, watched the masterclass, was nurtured. This is the piece that's part of my secret sauce, why I move so fast and why I convert so fast. I didn't build this one string for the sake of just building this one string. It takes a little bit of time to build out a 6 email nurture that's thought-provoking, high value. I'm not going to let it just live there. Guess what I did? I took that email nurture, ran it through my email skill, my content waterfall, it's the gold mine skill that you all get with the marketing AI intelligence. I said, can you take these 6 emails, repurpose them, make them high value content in the feed with a powerful CTA to have people actually download the lead magnet that haven't downloaded it yet. Now, what I want you to envision is this creates a full loop. And here is why. Just follow me on my principle for a minute. Above this circle is the top track. This is the feed, the content feed, the profile, grabbing the lead magnet. The underground is the silent sales system. But what I have done to close the loop is take the nurture that I created and repurpose it as 8 pieces of content in the feed. Now it becomes an echo chamber for your prospect. What I want you to imagine is your prospect goes to the feed, clicks on a lead magnet. Let's say they're not as ready to purchase as Kayla was, and they want to sit in the decision for a while. And you're nurturing them with email. Guess what's also happening? If your content from the nurture is repurposed in the feed, she is now sitting in what I call an echo chamber. She is sitting in a full ecosystem above the feed and below the feed. Her feed on LinkedIn is marching to one beat, leading towards your core offer, and the nurture underneath, when she opens her email, is doing what? Threading and moving towards the same offer. Do you see the compound effect and the halo effect that building something like this out can do? Have I lost you all, or have some people landed on this? Richard is like, yes, I've got it. This is actually just being fucking smart, guys. Like, that's all this is leveraging the work that you're already doing, repurposing it, putting it back in the feed for the people who haven't seen it yet, and being an echo chamber for the people who did see it in their email but didn't quite read it all. This is how you combat the noise. This is how you cut through the AI slop. Number one, you see them 10 times more in the underground. Number two, you use precision messaging that cuts through and doesn't sound like AI, right? Now, it's inevitable, isn't it? It's inevitable when they opt in, okay? Okay. Now, right now, some of you are looking at this whole web. You're looking at my string. You're looking at my loop. And you're like, okay, this is incredible. And I could never build this myself. Is anybody saying this? Here's the truth, okay? You don't build it piece by piece, painfully, right? It gets built from your source code in minutes. And I'm about to show you, right? That second thought, right? Some of you are like, okay, then I have to hire a whole team to run this, Melissa. Been there, gets watered down, takes forever. You can't move as fast as we're moving. Also untrue, right? And this is the part that changes everything. You don't have to hire the team, right? You get the AI prompts to build it manually yourself, even if you're in the Hive and you do the authority loop with us as the bonus, right? And if you add the AI package, a lot of this is going to be skills that you're going to be able to institute into your own damn company, right? Right? Now, the first step, so the AI marketing intelligence, also the buy now bonus, is actually going to write the lead magnets for you. I'm about to show you how this works. And usually this is only something our Queen's Chamber clients have, right? So you don't have to learn to be a copywriter, and you don't have to hire an agency. For the first time in the history of me mentoring my clients, right? You command a team that already knows you, right? Let me show you exactly what I mean. Do you guys want to build a full offer flow with me, like right now? Do you want to build one? Yes? Do you want to see how this works? Kathleen's like, bring it. Okay. And again, here's the funny thing. I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, you guys know I don't like to waste time. If I'm going to demo something, I'm going to demo something I need. Okay. So why don't we build something I need to build? Are you guys okay with that? Yes? Okay. So we're going to build something that I need to build. Now, it is the skills that I've encoded are complex. This isn't going to slop AI and just saying, build me a lead magnet. These skills are a decade of my intellectual property. So what we're going to witness in real time is Claude's going to be thinking really damn hard because it's going to be trying to pull together my signal. Okay. It's going to be trying to pull together the principles of mirror messaging. It's also going to be trying to pull through what my intellectual property for high conversion lead magnets, for high converting email. So what you're going to find is it's going to spin a little bit. It's going to work, right? And so while it works, what I'm going to do is pull up some of your top questions. So we'll command it. I'm going to review some of the questions that came through the chat the last couple of days. We'll come back and see what Claude's come up with. We'll command it some more. What we're going to do is we're going to start with the offer and we're going to build a lead magnet. We're going to command the email nurture and we're going to command closing the loop and putting the content back in the feed. That's what we're going to do in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Are you guys good with that? Yes? Okay. So my thought was, Jackie, we're actually, we're going public with the speed of thought for the first time ever in 2 weeks. We've never done this before. We beta tested it in our internal audience last week. You guys loved it and jumped on the Queen's Chamber full intelligence. And so we thought, let's try. Let's see during this launch if messaging that sells, if these folks would be interested in our marketing intelligence. You were. So we're like, okay, we're going to go public in 2 weeks. We're going to do a whole full build publicly. And we're going to launch a whole new, it's not even a masterclass. It's going to be a demo called The Speed of Thought. Okay. And my vision is, so this is, I'm just telling you guys, so you can think like you're the entrepreneur too. I'm thinking out loud. I'm telling you what I'm thinking about selling that I've never actually publicly done yet. And we're going to go ask Claude to build a plan for us front to back. Okay. What I'm thinking is that we're going to have a demo where Jackie and I are going to demo the speed of thought, where we're going to build out a full offer, which will probably be the offer that we're bringing to them. And then we're going to pitch them. So the goal is, I think we'll sell them into the Queen's Chamber and the full marketing intelligence for 6,500 because we continue to raise our prices. That's what we do, right? And then for the Hive community and the magnetic demand with the AI package, we're probably priced at about 2,000, probably 5,500 a month. So I'm sharing all of that with you because I'm going to have to tell Claude that, and I don't want you to be like, "What are you doing?" So here's my vision. I've got to give Claude that information. I like to use whisper flow. I don't know about you all, but you're going to hear me talk to Claude and I'm going to like name all of these things for Claude that we need to do. I need to talk about when it is, what it is, how much it cost, like what, all of those things. So you're going to hear me riff all of that. So I'm going to start, you can screenshot this because I'm going to move away from this in a minute. I'm going to start by telling it what the offer is. And what I want you to envision is what I want to do with Claude is I want to create a campaign for the next 2 weeks that ultimately designs content that I can put in the feed that invites people to this Speed of Thought event. But what my internal clients know is I don't start there. I start with the lead magnet. Because if I start with the lead magnet, I can build the nurture for it. And then I can instantly waterfall the content from the nurture into content that I can use in the feed, right? So what you're going to see, and the reason I'm doing this selfishly is because I need to have it done and I don't want to do it over the weekend. So that way Jackie has everything she needs for us to get started on this on Monday, right? And she'll have the email nurture and she can use her AI to assign all of that in Active Campaign. I have all my content and I can plan it out to push it out. And I can have the lead magnet in the content as the CTA to pull people onto my list so that I can nurture them over the next 2 weeks and drive them into this event. Are you guys tracking with me? This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to build. Okay. I've never done this before. I don't know how this is going to go. So we'll pull it over here. And what I need to do is pull up my information about, I have it pulled up so that I'm not like stuttering on, where is my demo file? Demo, day 4. Okay, here we go. All right, let me get Whisperflow up here. All right, here we go. All right. We're going to take our AI intellectual property public as installable skills. And I want to run my own lead magnet skill live to build the front door for this launch. I'm going to give you the offer, and we're going to sell 3 doors off a 2-day speed of thought demo. Okay. Let's see. Let me command it, the Hive plus the magnetic demand method, plus the AI command foundations, plus the marketing intelligence at 2,000 for 4 payments of 550. The next offer is going to be install it, the Queen's Chamber plus the full intelligence, front
But then
end,
kind of
back
like eat
end,
it, quickly go back to the
and
register.
the
She has a preference.
integration. Uh-oh, somebody might, I don't know if it still heard me. Okay. At 6,500 or 12 payments for 595. And then the third offer is going to be author it, and that is the Inner Circle plus the Founders Velocity AI Mastermind for 15,000, and it will rise to 20,000 on August 4th. Okay, the last thing I'm going to tell it here is August 4th is the enrollment wall and the live build cohort cutoff, and the insider newsletter rate rises after that. What I'm going to do next is give you the web copy from the last campaign so you have it for information to move forward before you build any lead magnet ideas and before you run the lead magnet skill. I want to make sure you have my Inner Circle signal source code. I'm going to give you my Inner Circle signal source code as the premium client we're marketing to, and I'm going to give you the old web copy of Speed of Thought from internal clients, but we're moving to external clients. These are going to be your 2 reference points. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, so you guys get that I basically just gave Claude the full download on what I'm going to do. So let me do this. So first, just confirm that you processed all of this, and then I'm going to give you the signal, and I'm going to give you the old web copy, and then we'll move forward commanding the lead magnet skill because I want to create lead magnets to put in the feed over the next 2 weeks. Okay, I'm going to let that run for a second, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the original web copy while he or she is thinking. Let me pull this. So I'm bringing to it an offer. It's not the perfect offer. I had to train it on the offer right now because it's not done yet, right? If you're running this, you may have the actual offer to give it, but I have something new. So got it processed. Do. Send me the 2 references. Okay. So I'm going to give it, whoops. Okay. Here is the old sales page for reference. Next, I'm going to give you the signal document for our Inner Circle community. Let's make sure our copy speaks to that premium client. So this is the same signal that you all will build for your dreamy clients. I'm putting in mine for Inner Circle. You guys saw me, I think it was yesterday, I used my Hive one. I'm like, oh, there we go. Okay. So now I'm going to put this in. And I'm going to say, now you have all the relevant information you need. Now run the lead magnet skill and give me some ideas on what I could put out in the feed. All right. Triangulating, it says. Let me see so you guys can see. See if I can open this up a little bit. And while it's thinking, because it's going to have to work. So while it's working, I'm going to go to some of your questions that were submitted in the chat. from Okay, Jackie, this is a good one. I'm actually going to defer this one to you. One of the big questions was Claude versus Chat GPT, which and why, Perplexity versus Copilot, Opus versus Sonnet. There's all kinds of, let's start with Chat versus GPT. While this one's spinning, Jackie, do you want to talk about Chat versus GPT? I mean, GPT versus Claude, sorry.
I mean, that's a lot of questions. There's huge answers for all of them. I don't know
Yeah,
that we
just
have
start
time
with
to go
Claude
over all
versus
of that.
GPT. Yeah.
I mean, the big thing about ChatGPT, and arguably they're making a lot of progress in trying to catch up with Claude. But the big thing about Claude is just the simple organization of it. You know, like the fact that you can have skills. ChatGPT is releasing skills, but Claude has had skills for a while that we're able to use. And that really brings you to a level of an AI user that's really elevated. You're not prompting the same things over and over again. You have standard operating procedures that are being run. And so to me, Claude is by far the more powerful business brain. And, you know, ChatGPT, in my opinion, is very much also a yes man. Yes, you can change it, but ChatGPT just loves everything that you do. And I don't want that. I want pushback. I want critical thinking. And I feel like Claude is really just a better critical thinking partner. And then in terms of modes, you see Melissa, I think Melissa, you use Opus probably the majority of the time because that's just the default. But, you know, Opus uses more credits. It's a more powerful thinker. And Sonnet is better for creative use and it's a lighter usage. So you'll burn through your usage a lot less if you use Sonnet. Sonnet should be a default setting for most of you.
Yep. Yeah, and I would say I use Opus when I'm trying to interface a lot of skills with complex layering for marketing. I'm using Opus because it's mining so much information. But if I'm doing light work, I'm not sitting in Opus. I mean, yeah, so that's a really good point. Okay, Claude already has some ideas for us, Jackie. So let's see what Claude has to say, and let me pull. Keep losing it. Here we go. There we go. All right. So we've got some lead magnet skills, some lead magnet options. Okay. So this is what I love. It's creating magnets based off of mirror messaging, right? So micro symptom, belief gap. My revenue feels fragile, and I think I just need to post more becomes the fragility effort. It's that there's no engine running underneath the feed. Okay, that's what we just talked about, right? The one belief shift that this lead magnet creates is you believe your business feels fragile because you have disconnected assets instead of a connected offer flow. And that's a structural fix, not a hustle fix. I feel like Claude was just listening to us, right? But we have all the relevant information fed in, right? Okay, let's see, what else is there? Lead magnet number 2 is from desire. Waking up to sales I don't create is a nice fantasy for people further ahead than me. Becomes a compounding ecosystem is an architecture I can install. So a belief shift it creates. You believe it's possible to wake up to a sale the architecture caught, one you didn't pitch, nurture, or chase, and that it comes from wiring, not from a bigger audience. Okay, these are so good. Now you're going to see Claude gave me a lot. We've got a lot to get through though, so I'm not going to read all of them. We have one on identity gap. We have one from a belief challenge that's a different angle. So we have lots of different concepts. So I'm gonna throw out a wild card. We'll see what happens. I like one of them, but there's another one I want it to do. So let's see. Let me make sure it's clicked on. Okay, so let's move forward with concept 1, the fragile business with no engine. And we can go with concept 4, the architecture problem, not a capability problem. And I'm going to go rogue on you, Claude, because I want a lead magnet audit, which actually tasks what you're doing and like which you're out, like what are you outsourcing that AI could actually be doing for you, plus an inside review of my own top AI employees that saves us time and money. and drive results. So I'm kind of curious to see if you can help me build one on that too. This is where, we can give us ideas, but we also want to be driving, right? I like those lead magnets, but I already had an idea for myself these next 2 weeks because I get a lot of questions like, what AI are you and Jackie using? Which skills have you built that saved you the most time? And I'm like, I think I want to make a lead magnet off of that because I think that some of my audience would grab that and be like, what are they doing to run their business this way? So never be afraid to ask, even though you have the prompts and it gives you the output to challenge back and be like, actually, I also want to know this. Okay. So we'll go back to some top questions while we wait for this again. So Jackie talked about, what about perplexity versus Copilot, Jackie?
In transparency, I don't use Copilot at all.
Yeah.
It's a Microsoft thing, and I am not a Microsoft person.
Yeah.
So if you are, more power to you, and maybe you know more about that. Perplexity, I use for data mining, particularly. Like when I want complex data research, or if I want to do like market research, Perplexity, I could give you a lot of explanation about it, but Perplexity sees the web pages, whereas Claude doesn't see the web pages. He sees the coding of the web pages. Perplexity can see, so the data pulling that it does is far more robust.
Okay. Awesome. So you guys got that? Awesome. Okay. And look, Claude loved the rogue idea. Running it through lead magnet concept 6, founder wildcard, AI employee audit, entry angle, situational trigger, micro symptom underneath. Okay. Belief gap it closes. AI is a someday upgrade, and my hours and my team are just the cost of running this becomes a measurable chunk of what I do, and what I pay for is already AI's job. And I can see exactly how much the moment I look. Yes. See, this is what I want. See, I'm working while I'm working. You guys are helping me create stuff for next week. The one belief shift it creates. You believe a specific countable portion of your week and your payroll is AI already is work AI already does better. And seeing that number is what turns the AI move from someday into now. Okay, I'm loving this. Okay, what it teaches, the door it opens. Okay, audit. Okay, this is good. The guardrail I'm holding on this one, inside review, exactly the proof. Okay. So Alexandra is my ICA for Inner Circle. Okay. She plainly, she won't believe until she sees it running inside a real business. So we lean all the way in. Yes, my ICA tends to be skeptical and really thinks about things before they invest. So they want to see fact because I tend to attract really smart people who are going to look at the detail, right? So format match. Okay, this is good. One silent sales engine map, a scorecard, one page engine map. Okay. Okay, so it's giving me a lot of different formats to choose from. All right. I'm going to go with the one that it picked. All right, let's go with option number 1. That sounds good. Now let's move forward with the skill. So what you're going to see, you know how I talked about how if we're going to create a lead magnet, I also want to create a tripwire on the back end. And I'm just realizing I didn't prompt Claude to do this. So I'm hoping, not sure if it's going to do this, Jackie, if it's going to put 2 and 2 together, that when they download the lead magnet, that I actually want to, on the thank you page, invite them to immediately opt in to the speed of thought. It may or may not pick it up. And if it doesn't, I'll just have to remind it. But we'll let it keep going. And while it keeps running, let's go back to some top questions. Do I start over or carry my old career? Does this work for B2B? Okay, I love the B2B question. How many of you guys are B2B? How many of you guys are B2B? Buyer psychology and the premium messaging piece does not matter whether it's business to business or it's business to consumer. Okay. I have many clients that I work with who contract with organizations. They contract with department heads of organizations. The psychology doesn't matter. There's still incentive for the people when you go B2B. You're still interacting with another human. Even if you're going B2B, that other human has something on the line that gives them desire and gives them situational symptoms for what they're in charge of when it comes to the business, right? So even if you're B2B, the psychology behind it, I have clients who actually do both. They do B2C and B2B. And Tina's actually a great example because she works with entire healthcare organizations for contracts, and she works with individual leaders. The organization as a whole, their pain point structurally is different than the individual. Does this make sense? But the psychology behind it is the same, right? Okay. Locked in, Claude says. All right. AI, okay, that's part 3 of all 3. Next part is the names. Okay, so let's name them. Okay. Perfect. Let's name them. You know, I always like to call my clients forward to their desired state and not live so much in the pain. So let's give me some name options. All right, so we're going to name these lead magnets. We'll see what Claude has to say about the lead magnets. So the other question was, do I start over or carry my old career? And I think I hit on this yesterday, but your past always informs your future. No matter where you pivot, number one, when it comes to shifts in, you leaving corporate and launching your own business, that legacy history of you, even if you make a radical shift, that legacy behind you informs your genius for where you're headed. So we're never just going to delete the past, right? I hit on this yesterday. But also when it becomes LinkedIn specific, like you don't want to delete your account. You have a network that could help you launch your business. A lot of you who are pivoting, your warm organic audience is your first audience to launch your business with, right? So we don't want to like start a whole new account. Okay. All right. Concept number 1, fragile business, no engine. Okay. The silent sales engine map built to run without you. The engine underneath the feed. We just talked about that. Why it all pauses the second you do. The business that only works when you show up. Yes, this is so good. Okay. Yeah, so it's recommending the silent sales engine map. It uses your own locked language. Okay, concept number 2, the architecture read. See your own swing, the outside eye. Oh, look, it's using my words. It was never a capability problem. Why all the effort isn't compounding. Okay, the architecture read. It names the okay, yeah. All right. Another concept. So it's giving me lots of concepts. The AI employee audit, the interactive audit. So I want to get through this so we can see the results. That's part 4. Okay, perfect. Part 5, the full front door asset. Each opt-in page with its forward calling promise and thank you page tripwire. Oh, look, it got it, Jackie. Tripwire into speed of thought. So it knows we want to invite people when they opt into this lead magnet to the speed of thought. So I'm going to say, that's great. Let's keep moving to part 4 for the full front door assets. All right. So we're going to let it run. I know we have Kimberly here. I'm going to come to you in just a minute, Kimberly. I'm trying to finish this demo. So we're going to let Claude run. And while Claude works on that, let me come back to some of your questions. There was a lot of questions around offering and pricing and clarity. What's the difference between the two offers? Well, I'll come back to that. Claude has already given us an answer here. So names are locked. Okay, so we've got, here is the so here's the title, the silent sales engine map. Okay, the headline, the silent sales engine map for second act founders. Because they're pivoting, right? Okay. See the layer that keeps selling when you step away, the core promise. You walk away seeing the one shift that makes revenue compound without you. Now, what I love, because it's trained on my lens, is that I like, and Kimberly knows this, our lead magnets, when people are going to opt in, we want to talk about like, what are they going to get out of opting into this? We're not just going to name it what it is, right? So I have programmed it in my skills to do this, right? So you walk away seeing the one shift that makes revenue compound. And then there's the body of the copy, and the mock-up direction. Here's the thank you page that I would be handing to Jackie that she could run with her AI. And on the tripwire, right? I love this. This is why I'm glad I did this, Jackie, because I'm literally going to be able to deliver this to you, right? It's like, watch the exact engine on your map get built live inside a real 8-figure business. Now, what I love about this is while I've been talking to you all, Claude put it all together that like, okay, we're going to run this lead magnet, but we want it to actually be a backdoor to invite people to this masterclass or workshop. How do I segue from the document they're downloading to a nice introduction into the next step? And that's what Claude has elegantly done here with this skill in one sentence, right? Is watch the exact engine on your map get built live inside a real 8-figure business. You just saw where it goes dark, and this is where you watch it get wired. So it's inviting, right, on the thank you page. So good. Okay, so it does this for all of them. And that's the full front door. The skills handoff is the nurture arc. Okay, so now it's time to hand it off. This is where this is where we continue to build the loop. So I want you to envision, in the last couple of minutes, I brainstormed, came up with a lead magnet, built the landing page, built the thank you page, and a tripwire. And now I'm going to build the nurture behind it, right? So I'm going to say, awesome, let's build the email nurture from, let's just pick one of the lead magnets so we can demo it and build the email nurture behind it that softly nurtures actually ultimately into one of our core offers, maybe the Queen's Chamber, but also lightly sprinkles in some invitations in the first 2 to 3 emails, the speed of thought, because by the time they get to the back end of those emails, speed of thought will be over anyway. So let's lightly invite to the speed of thought in the beginning, and then harder sell into Queen's Chamber on the back end. Where did that go? I just copied it somewhere. It just landed somewhere, but not there. So let me click on this again. All right. Let's build one nurture from one lead magnet and lightly invite them into the speed of thought in the first couple of emails, while also just obviously giving value. On the back end of the nurture, we can actually sell into a core offer like the Queen's Chamber. Okay, so now it's going to run. What I might do, Kimberly, while it's running, why don't we just chat with you for a minute while this is running? Because Kimberly's one of our clients inside of the Inner Circle, who's actually an AI expert herself. And she's been so gracious to jump on. I asked her if she would jump on while we were live today, because she's actually one of the humans who's been able to play with the AI marketing tools that just went live yesterday. So thanks for popping in. And I just thought it'd be fun for you to share with the group, like your real in-person experience with playing with the new AI marketing division, like what you've done. Like, tell us about it.
Definitely. So Melissa's been talking about pivoting, and I just did a big pivot in my work. So I'm now focusing on fractional HR and then also AI tools to build the HR department, kind of like Melissa's built the marketing department. So because I've shifted away from purely AI consulting to now doing my HR, I had to shift my signal. So I did my brand voice interview with Claude and Whisperflow, so to update for my effector leadership. And then I fed that through the signal skill. I was so excited Wednesday morning. I think it launched my time on the West Coast. I think it launched about 5 a.m. So
Oh, did it? Nice.
At like 6 a.m. Running my new signal. I actually ran the mirror messaging and the hook generator. I had to update my LinkedIn profile, so I did the profile optimizer.
Oh, good.
So I've been doing a ton of work because these skills have been like the engine behind this new work. And so I'm like actually building my first lead magnet, my first tripwire, and my offer for my fractional HR business right now as we're
I
so
love it. At the speed of thought, right?
at the speed of thought. Yes, yes. So these all, and the only two skills I haven't used yet are the prompt architect and the nurture newsletter. And I know that I will be using those sometime this weekend
Oh, and
to
I love that you brought that up. And I didn't want to like overly like there's so much that you guys could learn this week, but one of the things that's really powerful that I use is a super prompt. So we created the prompt architect. So as crazy as this may sound for some of you, like using a prompter to prompt your AI can help the output of your AI. So we actually created a prompt architect that you just go brain dump what your challenge is and what you're looking for and how to help you prompt your AI, and it will give you the most beautiful super prompt to then go give to your AI. And the output is just, it's fire.
yes,
Well,
yes,
awesome. I'm so glad that you've had an opportunity to play with it. So you said you're already working on building a lead magnet with it right now, huh?
yes, that's built.
Oh, it's built. Okay, awesome.
The page is built. I actually sent it to Jackie a little bit ago. She gave me some feedback. So, and the like tripwire offer, because it's a call,
Uh-huh.
like a booking link for a $47 call. That's built. And now I'm building my nurture sequence, which will flow into my content for
I
the
love this. Okay, so you got the marketing AI intelligence yesterday, 2 days ago,
Wednesday morning,
Wednesday, and
2 days ago.
you built a lead magnet, you built the landing page,
Mhm.
you built the nurture,
Yes.
and reworked your profile on LinkedIn. All of this in the last 48
Oh,
hours.
and have done a
Love it.
LinkedIn post with my new,
Love it.
yeah.
Love
So
it. So good.
definitely supercharge my productivity. Thank you.
Yay. I love this. Well, Kimberly, thank you so much for popping in and sharing with everybody. I just thought we can't have anyone talk about the new intelligence yet because it literally was birthed. But then we had our inner circle call yesterday, and you were like, "I've been using it," and I'm like, "Come talk about it." So thank
Yeah.
you so much for being the one to get in there and play with it. And I can't wait to get your feedback as you continue to work on it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see. Claude now has what's going on here? Output here. So it says good, and changes the shape of the structure nurture. So locked in, giving you the sequence, 3 jobs, real, okay. Give real value, drop in light. Yep. So it's just acknowledging what I said. Confirm the silent sales engine map as the feeder. And I'm going to say, yep, let's run with the sales engine map as the feeder. And we'll get it running. And while it runs, I've lost my notes here. Yeah, a second here. For some reason, my screen is now over there. What am I doing wrong, Jackie? Is what happens when I have too many things going on. I am going to do this. Maybe. I don't understand. Aha, here we go. Sorry, you guys just have to deal with. Do you know when I say I can't even work my remote control? I wasn't kidding that I can't work my remote control. So you just give me a second. Because having 2 screens and talking to you guys is a big challenge. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what Claude's come up with. All right, let me show you what Claude came up with. I should stop saying Claude, what my marketing department came up with. We'll come back over here. All right. So remember, we built the lead magnet. Now we have an email nurture. It's created the subject line, the purpose, the key message. Okay. What I'm going to do so that you guys see how this runs is I'm going to say, awesome. Now write the actual emails in depth for me, because it gives me the key message ideas and I'm going to have it actually write them. And I'll just walk you through what I'm going to do next. So we've brainstormed on a couple of lead magnets. I chose a couple. We built the landing page and the thank you page and a tripwire. We are now building the email nurture behind it. Now, what I'm going to do when it's done building and it's pulling from my voice, right? When it's done building the nurture, and this is how we close the loop. When it's done building the nurture, the last thing I am going to command it on, I know we're going a little over, so you guys bear with me. I am going to command it to actually the gold mine skill that you all have that opted into the marketing intelligence. It's going to go through all emails and turn it into content in the feed. Okay. It's going to actually close the loop for me, and it's going to create the full authority loop. I'll come back to those slides in a minute that you're building with me live if you jump in before midnight tonight. So there's your full fleshed out. I'll read the first one. I'm not going to read them all, and before I do, I'm even going to go ahead and command it. Beautiful. Now let's take all 7 pieces and I want you to apply it to the gold mine content skill. And let's turn every single one of these emails into content in the feed with a CTA to actually opt in to the lead magnet. Now we close the loop, right? That little loop that I showed you guys earlier. So while it runs, I'll go back and look at, without trying to make you guys throw up. Here we go. Your silent sales engine map inside. So that's email 1, right? Start with a track that's gone dark. You're in. The silent sales engine map is waiting for you, and it's 1 page on purpose. We want speed and ease for our premium client, right? Open it and you'll see 2 tracks. The top one fills your funnel, the demand, the visibility, the content you're already making. The bottom track, the one that converts the demand while you sleep. Most founders have a bright top track and a bottom track that's gone completely dark. So this first email is bringing them back to the resource. It's making them problem aware. I'm standing in my power as the authority, and we're getting them. Okay, good question. We're probably going to want LinkedIn and Instagram. Let's do just 7 echoes. Okay, so it's still working. And then look, a very little PS. And if you want to watch the engine get built live, Speed of Thought is still open and still free. Like, I'm literally going to use these for the next 2 weeks. Like, it's producing stuff that I'm going to use. So that was, okay, that was email. That was the bottom of email number 2. Yep, you can see that it's segued here. Let's test it and see if it starts talking about Queen's Chamber down below. Okay. Yep, here we go. The Queen's Chamber full intelligence installed. The map showed you the gap. This is where you close it. Now, remember, I showed you or talked to you about how it is not my business when my clients purchase, but it is my business making the path totally frictionless so they can invest when they're ready. And this is what you're seeing with these effortless email sequences that Claude is building for me, right? So now you see, now it's creating all the content for me, right? It's giving me the hook. Let's read one. Your business has 2 tracks and one of them is dark right now. That creates curiosity. That's the hook, right? The top track fills the funnel, demand and visibility. You're already creating. The bottom track converts demand while you sleep. Most founders have a bright top and a bottom that's gone completely dark. Okay. Find your track, find your dark track, and download the Silent Sales Engine. So these are intentional. I want to bring you guys back to the very beginning of our conversation today, which was what? Where are you sending people when you put content in the feed? Where are you sending people when you put content in the feed? And you're seeing now that when I reverse engineer my content for the feed, right, that it actually is giving direction. It's giving directionality to where we're taking people, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do now, so this is the full loop, right? This is the full loop. I'm going to pull up my slides again. And we will come back to where we were with the full loop. Okay. Now, let me summarize for you all. This is where we were. Let me fix this a little bit. Get us back over here. Now, I laugh so hard that I can barely work this computer. And I know the slide is like a totally different size. There we go. We'll guess. Maybe that works, right? So what did we literally just do, friends? Like, I don't know. We started at a little after 1 and I answered questions. You got to hear from Kimberly, right? I started with brainstorming an offer, and literally I have baked multiple lead magnets, picked one out, built a landing page and a thank you page and a tripwire, built the email nurture behind it, and created the content that closes that loop. Remember the loop that I showed you the picture of? That closes the authority loop. This is exactly what we're going to build together in the Authority Loop Intensive in August. If you invest in the AI marketing division, you're going to be able to command some of those skills to do it for you. If you purchase the Hive, you still have the full package when you come in and build the authority loop. It will be custom prompts that you give the AI to actually build these out for you. Okay. So literally did all of that in less than 30 minutes, right? And it used to take me an army of about 30,000 and a marketing team in the game of telephone, and it would be done in weeks. What I want you to see, what you just watched was one authority loop. We created one front door that literally created a full loop where I was actually able to spray content back up in the feed when I was done with creating that loop. Top to bottom, one full circuit. Just like that one journey that Kayla took, right? That one string that I showed you, that one door. Do you see where I'm pointing? It was one door that brings people to that core offer. Right? Everything I put in the feed has intentionality to drive traffic in one direction. Everything. Then everything begins to compound when you build one string at a time. Rome was built one brick at a time. Right? How many 6 and multiple 6-figure months do we are building them through these one string at a time, one web string at a time, recession proof. Revenue coming in all orifices and angles daily. Not a flip of a switch. I'm not promising a get rich quick. It is you build it. You build it over time. And then it becomes absolutely bulletproof when you adhere to it and you build it. Once you learn how to build it once, you run and stack. You build your first door. You see how quickly I built one door all the way to the core? Did you guys see that? I did it in like 25 minutes. And then you start building your second one and your third one and your fourth one and your fifth one. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you've built a web. And the lead magnets are at the surface on your website, in your feed, in your featured section. You're promoting them throughout in the feed, right? They're the front doors all over the place, feeding in one direction with intentionality because you have the right source code and the right intellectual property that move people towards your core offers. This is exactly how I started. One loop, then another. And now I have revenue coming from multiple entry points. I'm not even actively watching. As a matter of fact, I can show you how assets compound, the speed that makes this web possible. Here's a screenshot just to give you an example of an ordinary day, right? This is what compounding revenue looks like. What I want you to see here is on a regular day in my business, you don't see any one type of thing being sold, right? What I want you to see is it's a spread. When you build this web, it compounds. You build these strings one at a time, and then you see things like an inner circle investment, a Queen's Chamber investment, someone throwing a VIP day in the cart, right? Lower ticket $22 offers, $22 offers. These are the taste to trust offers that build and stack the momentum above. Is this making sense for everyone? Are you guys following me? Yes. I see Kim Marie says yes. Glenna, does this make sense? Mike, yes. Okay. This is how we create the web, one authority loop, one string at a time, one string at a time, right? So what you just watched replaces the money that you spend trying to pay someone else to write it, to build it, right? The retainers, the whole stack of people you would normally pay to assemble what we did, right? If you join us by midnight tonight, no matter which tier you invest in, you're saving time. Kimberly, did you guys just hear what Kimberly built since 2 days ago, right? The months it takes people to build a single funnel when we're building webs, right? 15 minutes here. And then the precision, the one that matters the most, every layer that I built spoke to the same buyer in the same voice. And it all came from one source code that I built so that my AI isn't all over the place, right? And it's not from a team of freelancers who don't understand my client, right? So let's talk about what actually stands between you all and this, because it's not the tools and it's not the strategy, right? You've seen those all week, right? It's something other than that, right? It's something other than that. There's a principle, and my team's heard me talk about this forever because I live by it. It's the law of the lid. Brooke, Jackie, you know, the law of the lid, right? And it's simple. Your business will never outgrow you. Your business will never outgrow you. You are the lid. Whatever you are personally capable of, what you personally know, what you hold is the ceiling. It's the cap. Everything you build presses up against that lid, right? And your business can only scale as far as your lid. And this week, right? You've seen how you've been the copywriter, you've been doing the messaging by hand, right? You've got a lot that you've got trapped in your head because you're limited by your own hours of trying to manually do it all yourself. And that's the lid. I've been there. I'm not saying this from an ivory tower. I then outsourced it and it cost me even more. It was a really expensive lesson before I leveraged AI, built the custom skills and took it all back, right? That's the lid, is that your capacity to do it all right now, right? And you can be brilliant and you can have killer offers and real results and still stay stuck under it, right? Working harder for less because the ceiling isn't your talent, it's your capacity to get your genius out of your head and into the market at scale, right? With systems and tools and resources that you need to learn. You raise your lid, you raise your capacity, right? Your business follows your growth. I have always said I have to become that next level leader in order for my business to follow suit. Every time I invest to raise my lid, the reason I am where I am today with AI is because I invested to raise my lid, to learn it when I was uncomfortable, because I was the cap in the growth of this company, right? So my first lid in business. So I'm going to recap my 3 lids so maybe you guys can connect. My first lid in business was having a corporate employee mindset, coming out of corporate thinking I need to make the money before I invest in it. That type of thought process was keeping me exactly where I was stuck because I wasn't willing to invest in where I was becoming. I didn't have the entrepreneurial mindset yet. I was still sitting in that I need to wait for the revenue to come in. I'm pre-revenue. Well, of course you're pre-revenue. You haven't launched a business yet, right? You have to invest in order to raise your capacity, your knowledge, your lid. That was going to keep me stuck exactly where I always was, right? So that was my first spot, number 1. And you guys have heard the story. The moment I put 12,000 on a credit card, invested in a business coach, and then invested in a mastermind because of the identity that I associated myself with, my business took off. Ended up making my first million in 18 months and followed suit within 2.5 years to have a $3.8 million year because I continued to invest in where I was going, not investing in where I was, right? I raised my lid before my bank account caught up. So that was number 1. Number 2, making a decision from identity was investing in Jackie. You heard me talk about this. There was a moment in business where I paid Jackie more than I paid myself on purpose because I understood the fastest way past my own ceiling was to stop being the one only capable person in my business. That's the lid that raised, right? That most people are too scared to invest in. So that was number two. And then number three, just to recap, the third one that I haven't really talked about, but some of you know I have a doctorate in pharmacy, a master's in clinical research. I spent over $200,000 in college education. And I lovingly will say this with tough love. Some of you are sitting on the fence of like, I don't know if I can invest $500. I don't know if I can invest in the car bump. And I haven't seen the return yet. Did you invest in your education before you got a paycheck? Right? I invested $200,000 before I got paid. And the funny thing is, I still was paying it off for a decade. And it wasn't until I launched my own business and paid off 100,000 of it in 1 year from the money I made as an entrepreneur. Right? So there's been multiple situations where I've had to make decisions from identity, and I know you do too, right? I've actually invested in over $500,000 in mentorship since being an entrepreneur, but getting into the rooms, being with the mentors that I spend on because I am investing in the judgment. I am investing in raising my lid, right? All those decisions were made from identity. So let's land this plane. I'm going to review what's on the table till midnight tonight, and then I'll open up for any questions, the final questions that you guys have before we call it a day. So final recap, we've got the hive, okay? Everything I just showed you, right? The hive raises your lid. It takes the ceiling off. This is what Rachel invested in, and she made $500,000 this year, right? This is the floor because your genius stops being trapped in your hands and in your head, right? So if you join the hive before midnight tonight, it's 500. On Saturday, it's 807. That's the public pricing. If you go to my website, you'll see. That's the complete thing. The formula, the lead gen method, the live monthly coaching, the elite community, the AI agent inside of Circle, the Signal GPT, where you create your custom signal, all when you buy by midnight, right? And if you buy by midnight, you get to build your LinkedIn funnel with me. You will get some bonus AI prompts that are not available in the hive, that are exclusively for the Queen's Chamber, that we're actually going to give you access to build your first authority loop with LinkedIn, right? So you can build your entire premium string and start building your web and never touch anything else. Just invest in the hive by tomorrow, right? Now, for those of you who want speed, like Kimberly, and for those of you who want my team installed in yours, for those of you who don't want to go back and forth and copy and paste AI prompts, you don't want to go to someone else's GPT, but you'd rather install my team and my IP in yours for the first time ever, that's the AI marketing department. And until midnight, you can get it for $497. On Saturday, it's $1,000. August 4th, it goes to $1,500, right? So this is what the AI intelligence looks like. Obviously, this is the AI forward or AI curious, because I'll show you in a minute. Jackie's going to be teaching the foundations, and Mary Bell's teaching the foundations. There's a multiple AI mini minds that we're going to support you on, and office hours. Okay, but you're going to get, for example, what I demoed for you, the content gold mine. You will get the lead magnet creator is a bonus for you that you just saw if you purchase while we're live today, right? So the team, I'm sure you've already dropped it in the chat, but that's available for you today. The only skill that's not included in that I demoed today is that email nurture. That is part of our offer flow architecture inside of the Queen's Chamber. That's a standard skill in the business intelligence, but you're going to get the authority loop training. So when you get the authority loop training as your bonus, you're going to get custom codes, custom AI codes to build, right? You're just not getting the skill, right? That's for the Queen's Chamber. So you get all of those today when you join and add the AI, the marketing AI department, right? A single funnel from an agency would cost you thousands, right? A marketing team, 30,000 a month. This is, you blink. And, I like to say, $500 or $1,000, it's not going to change your financial future, but it could change your future, right? Okay, so just a visual of it stacked. Everybody gets the bonus authority loop built live. What I did today, you're going to get to do with me in the LinkedIn Authority Loop Intensive, building your first loop on August 18th. All right. Those that invest in the AI bonus or the AI marketing brain are also going to get 2 mini minds, one with the AI foundations, one with the Build Your AI Marketing Brain with me. We're going to build it together. I'll be there to support you with questions. And then for those who purchase while we're live today for the last time, if you purchase while we're live, you're going to get 2 bonus AI employees. And that is the lead magnet skill that you just saw me command on command. And it helps you surface all of the lead magnets that are going to be highly convertible for you in the feed. And then you're going to get the offer flow audit skill, which analyzes that string of your web and looks for kinks and looks for leaks. And it diagnoses it in seconds, normally reserved for our higher level clients. Okay. So our founding pricing, good till midnight tonight. And the price goes up, and I stick to my word. The inner circle used to be 8,500. Now it's 15,000. Next month, it'll be 20,000. It's a supply and demand, and we like to keep it high proximity and tight, right? So marketing department, here are, if you were to go hire the resources that you install, this is what you would pay. You've seen this slide, so I'm not going to go through the details of it. The AI foundations, this is where Jackie and Maribel teach you all the foundations of AI. If you're curious and you want these skills, but you're not comfortable with AI, that is what this is for, to get you set up. Where I will land, you're not just hiring the team, right? Anyone can hand you an AI tool. That's honestly racing towards free. What almost no one can hand you is the decade of judgment built into it. That's what you are just witnessing. These skills are fueled by 10 years of messaging IP perfected inside an 8-figure brand. Between founders, like between my vision and the visionary, and especially those of you going into Queen's Chamber, the operator lens with Jackie, right? You're not just getting employees, you're getting AI employees instilled with a decade of experience of our own investment and our own knowledge and our own hard knocks, life of trials and tribulations and perfecting what we've learned. This is the moat. This is what can't be copied, right? You've already seen that it works, right? So the choice from today is that you can piece it together alone over the months, or you can install the whole machine today. The lid comes off really the moment you decide, right? You can take everything you've learned and you can run with it with us. Okay. All right. With that, this is what we did, friends. This is what we did. I want to first of all give a huge shout out to Burnout to All Out, Jackie and Brooke, who are here to help us run this whole thing. Give them some love for supporting you guys and trying to answer all your questions while I've been over here talking. I want you guys to also give yourselves a big round of applause. Each of you, okay? Each of you who is still here on a Friday afternoon, committed, right? What you learned over the last 4 days, why premium messaging on a premium platform, it's the whole game right now. You learned the power of the source code and what makes premium buyers move. You built that content engine. You looked at building that content engine. And today you watch the demand engine that turns all on and into daily sales when you build that full offer flow, when we build that first LinkedIn funnel together, that authority loop, right? That's not a masterclass worth of information. What this is business in 2026, right? You are never another expert lost in the feed. You are a category of one, right? The moment your message finally matches your work, you are seen as the category of one, right? So for those of you joining us in the Hive and in the Queen's Chamber, I'll see you guys inside. We start building immediately. Start with phase 1 in the magnetic demand method. No matter which option you invest in, even if you join Inner Circle, I need you to start with phase 1 so we can refine your signal. For everyone else, thank you for spending the week with Jackie and I, and with Brooke. Now go show up in the right room as an authority that you are. All right. We don't chase friends, we claim, right? We claim. So with that, I am calling it a wrap. What I'm happy to do, while we still have friends on the line, is I'm happy to answer questions that you all may have. And I don't know if there's even questions in the feed, in the chat, that the team want to bring to me.
Yeah, there's one that's important. So many of you have already invested in the Hive, and you have the opportunity to upgrade to the AI marketing intelligence. You just have a different link. So the link that I've been dropping is not going to give you that option. So if you need that link, either check your email, because that should have gone out to you, or reach out to myself, Brooke, at burnoutalla.co, and I'll share it with you.
Perfect. Yes. So, yeah, if you're already in the Hive, all you need to do is upgrade, right? And you're going to want to do it before midnight because it will go to 1,000 on Saturday. What other questions do you all have? Where did it go?
Yep, somebody has a question about what the bonuses are while purchasing while live.
Yes. So I don't know why my Claude keeps disappearing. You guys, I have a great slide for that. If I could not have this guy keep disappearing. So the bonus live is if you purchase the AI marketing department along with the Hive, you get 2 bonus skills. So you get 2 bonus skills. I was going to see if my slide was here. And the bonus skills are the offer flow audit skill. This actually is a skill that we use in the Queen's Chamber and in the Inner Circle. It is looking at your full offer flow from front to back, from lead magnet to your signature offer. And it looks at all the weak points where you're leaking opportunity, where things are, I just call it, we look for your weak links, and it identifies it for you because it's where those holes are in the, what do I want to say, like that spaghetti strainer that you're pouring the fine champagne through, right? It identifies it for you. Super powerful. And then you're getting, what else are you getting? You're getting the lead magnet generator. So what I just commanded that I demoed for you all is the lead magnet generator. So it actually takes your core offer and understands my IP around mirror messaging and helps design and create high converting lead magnets that actually then also creates a landing page and brainstorms with you and builds the tripwire behind it. So extreme time saver. And it's all precision to the signal. What I want you all to understand is every skill that you get, that you purchase, works through the foundation of feeding it your signal. So the first skill you're going to work on is that signal skill. You're going to go to phase 1 of the Hive, and you are going to build your, you're going to have to do the brand voice interview. You're going to have to build that and feed it into the signal. And maybe in a minute I can demo and even show you guys in the back end. But every skill, nearly every skill that you command requires that you build your signal first. And you can build that signal with the signal skill within Claude. So I don't know, did that answer the question, Brooke?
Yes, I'm just answering questions as they come.
Okay.
12 months is the Hive membership, for those of you who have asked that. Some of you look at your DMs right now above in the chat. I sent you links.
Okay, yeah. Did you send them private links for the upgrade?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're asking, if you're in the Hive and you're looking to add the marketing intelligence, look at your private chat in the Zoom. She probably has, Brooke has your upgraded link in there. And for anyone who upgrades that's already in the Hive, we'll definitely give you the bonuses too, because you're already in the Hive, and we're throwing the AI upgrade on there for you.
Another question that people are asking is about how long do they have the skills for?
Yeah, you own them. It is a written, you'll see when you get in, they're highly detailed written, they're my IP. for the first time ever. Like you own it, like you take it. It's yours. So, yeah. Now, what you may get from us over time as we play with it, we may update them and we may give you some updates on it, you know. But you own it. It's not, this is why I'm obsessed with it because you're not dependent on like a GPT, somebody's custom GPT. You're not paying for a membership to go use it every single month. I'm giving it to you. You install it in your business. You own it. It's a one-time fee. I truly believe that by giving you those skills, you can move faster, your questions will be deeper, and you'll get greater results and you'll stay around even longer. I'm not concerned about giving it to you and like losing my edge or my secret sauce, you know? There's way more to what we provide, right? Yeah.
Oh, wait.
What other questions? VIP, yes. And if you are in VIP, you have a custom email, right? Everybody in VIP has a custom cart in their inbox that has your VIP.
No, it's not a custom cart. It's just a
Oh, sorry.
coupon code. Yep,
Well,
that's all.
yeah, it's a
So they can
coupon.
use
You want
that
to
on
talk them
any
through
of
it,
the
Jackie?
carts. Yep,
Yeah.
they can use that on. So Brenda, your question, you can use that code that you got in your email, or Brooke or I can send it to you privately, and you can use it on any of the purchases that you want.
Mhm.
So if you want to invest in Queen's Chamber, if you want to invest in Hive, you can use it on any of those.
And just so everyone knows, for those of you kind of sitting on the fence of like, ooh, I'm kind of like wanting to know about Queen's Chamber, your first 30 days, you can roll your investment into the next investment. So you may want to dive in and work on the magnetic demand with us for a couple of weeks and think about Queen's Chamber, observe, ask questions. And in the first 30 days, if you dive into the Queen's Chamber, you get to roll all of your investments in the last 30 days into it, right? So there's always that option too, whatever you've spent in the last 30 days. Is there an option to pay with directly bank transfer? There is. Jackie, yeah, we just need to do the bank transfer with my bank to yours. Yep. What else? Yes, yes. And we would, I know that's kind of takes a little bit of time. So we would honor your bonuses if you're doing a bank transfer because it may or may not be done and gone through by the time we're done streaming live. Is the Queen's Chamber a membership as well? Yes. Great question. So the Queen's Chamber is an upgrade. So in the Queen's Chamber, when you move to the Queen's Chamber, it also resets your Hive access. So the Hive is the community. This is where Jackie coaches in there once a month live. I coach in there once a month live. Even our inner circle clients hang out in the Hive. Our Queen's Chamber members hang out in the Hive. And then the Queen's Chamber, we actually have 3 to 4 hour lab intensives once a month. So it is kind of a micro experience of being in the inner circle, but once a month as a single intensive where we get together as a tight group and work on a project together and we build together and we mastermind together. It's a really special group. And within the Queen's Chamber, we actually work on your offer flow architecture. So in the Hive, we work on top of funnel. We work on that category of one messaging and that signal. And in the Queen's Chamber, we build out the full offer flow architecture. So we really work on refining your offer, designing your offers, building your ascension ladders, really mining your authority codes. It is the full front to back door that we build inside the Queen's Chamber. Now, the only difference really between that and the inner circle is there's no more learning in the inner circle. All the intellectual property is in the chamber. It's in the Queen's Chamber. The inner circle is just higher proximity. So our inner circle members actually work with me once a week and they work with Jackie once a week. We are live together once a week in a smaller group. I have a custom Claude chat thread for each of my inner circle clients. I have all of their projects, their work loaded up into the thread that I work on with them. I tend to help them a lot with their messaging, with their offers, with their offer flows. I get under the hood of their business and support it and coach to it all year long. And Jackie, do you want to talk a little bit about what you do inside of the inner circle? Because you and I are like in opposite worlds when it comes to coaching in there.
Yeah, I mean, everything about like integration. So how do we move you forward? What's the next step? How do we get you, like you've built all this stuff. How do we make it come to life? What's your next step? And then funnel optimization is kind of my favorite thing to do, so looking at your analytics and pinpointing where you're dropping and things like that. So,
Mhm.
and the good news is with AI now, it's easy. It's
Yeah.
way easier to be able to show you guys how to do this.
Yes. Yes.
Sherry had a good question in here.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me scroll back up. She said, sorry if this is a repeat, but what's the difference between the mirror messaging expert, which I'm guessing is like the audit thing, and the Signal GPT?
Oh, okay. Those are good questions. So let's talk through them. The mirror messaging auditor is a custom GPT we built just for this masterclass. And it's designed to review your content and give you instant feedback on where your gaps are in your messaging. So it's diagnosing for you. And that goes away tonight at midnight too, by the way. That was something for you guys to play with to just see the gaps and opportunity for your messaging. The signal is totally different. So the signal is your source code. This is what we talked about in day 2. If you may want to go back and watch the training on day 2, the signal is your source code. It's your North Star. It is the depths of mirror messaging that represent your dreamiest client. And it's based off of desire, symptom, the premium lens, and their specific identity. And we build, a 30 to 40 page, very extensive document that gets into the psyche of what they're thinking, what they're feeling, how it's showing up for them emotionally. And that source code is what we use to feed everything we build inside of Burnout to All Out. So whether you're building a lead magnet, whether you're working on social media copy, whether you're working on a landing page, whether you're ideating on an offer, the signal is a custom skill or custom GPT, depending on if you join the Hive alone, you're going to get the custom GPT. If you do the AI marketing package, we're giving you that signal skill to instill in your own business. But either way, when you command it, it helps you build that robust signal document. That becomes your true north that you feed your AI along with your brand voice for everything that you do. Everything that you do. This is what allows your content and your offers to cut through the noise and be just laser precision. Yeah. There was a question about the Queen's Chamber and how much after the renewal. So it's 12 months. And the way we work, if you've been around for a while, we raise our prices. So the way it works is the Queen's Chamber will be a year old. This is how young this division is. The Queen's Chamber will be a year old in October. What will happen when you go to renew? Our first clients will renew in October. And what will happen is we'll honor your current legacy price, and you can keep it when you renew versus the new price. So, I mean, think about this. When we launched the Inner Circle, it was 8,500. And it's 15,000 right now. It's going to be 20 in August. And the first 3 women that ever joined paid 8,500. And all 3 of them renewed this year, and they're still paying 8,500. So that's just part of the way I roll. I'm like, I am going to reward your loyalty, right? I let you just stay at whatever price you came in. So that's what we do when you renew. So that's likely what we'll do if you renew in the Queen's Chamber as well. You do get the Signal source code builder in the Hive. It's a GPT. Yes. And it's amazing.
But it's not in phase 1. It's under the AI tools. So if you scroll down, you'll learn in phase 1, and you should watch the foundational video about mirror messaging to get
Yes. You need to watch the whole.
You really
phase
need to
1.
watch it. So that's why it's there, because we do really want you to watch that there. But then if you scroll down under the Hive included AI tools, that's where you get the Signal custom GPT.
Yeah. And not to confuse you all, but Jackie, actually, you may not remember this, but in the old days before custom GPT, there is, when you learn about the signal, inside of,
Yeah, we have old school templates too.
we have a whole AI template that you can copy and paste.
Yeah.
Right.
However
But
you
that
want to
was
do it.
before we created the custom GPT. So, but you'll learn the principles behind the signal, and then you can bypass the big copy and paste and go to the custom GPT and actually build it. Yeah. Good question. And we're going to have Mary Bell have some office hours over the next 2 weeks to support you guys with some of your AI questions too. Mira is our mirror messaging. Yeah. And Mira lives inside of the Circle community, and you can get into conversations with her in the chat, and you can give her content and she'll review it and she'll give you feedback. So she's like our internal AI agent. Versus if you invest in the AI marketing division, you'll have the mirror messaging skill like installed. So everything you do, you can command the skill to like literally ensure that you're leveraging mirror messaging in everything that you do. The level of depth and complexity of the skill itself is just more robust, because when you're on your own Claude account and it's loaded with your signal and your offers and everything, and then you command the mirror messaging skill, it's going to pull from your signal document, and it's just 10x the output of what you're going to get from our AI agent within Circle, which is great. She's going to look at your content at face value, because that's all she has the capacity to do. You can't give her a 400 or 40 page signal document. You can give her the content and she can give you feedback, but it's not your internal AI department, which is why this is exactly why we built the AI marketing department for people who want. It came from our inner Circle clients who are like, we want to give Mira our entire signal. And we're like, she can't handle it. This is an internal Circle bot. Like, but we can make a skill that can, right? Okay. Perfect. What did you just share, Jackie? Okay. The AI tools. Yes.
Yeah, just where to find it. You learn about it in phase 1. You can get the templates to build it manually if you'd want, but then you need to go down to the AI tools if you want to build it with the custom GPT.
Yep. All right. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Shelly. All right, friends. Well, I'm going to go eat some lunch before me and the VIPs take off at 3, I think. So I'll see the VIPs at 3. Hope to see you all inside. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful week.